Again, this is the part, and I know it happens in every JoJo part, Mehgan, I understand. But, I mean, you got my guy Usagi right here saying it's a stand over and over and over.
So you don't believe
this is
him.
some kind of crazy high-tech security device. This guy's loaded. This must be state-of-the-art. A disappearing string. About a year and some change ago, we began our JoJo's Bizarre Adventure journey. And after 8 parts of some of the most unique and profound storytelling we've ever consumed, this is the first time we're going to be experiencing JoJo's as monthly readers. And we are so incredibly excited for the beautifully insane unknown that lies ahead.
We're going to be going through and discussing the 8 chapters that have been released so far, with a more general conversation discussing our overall thoughts at the end.
So join us as we embark on this bizarre adventure into
the Jojolands!
So what did you expect going into this part?
So I had seen from Twitter, don't at me, okay? I wasn't looking for spoilers. It was just like the first chapter that had come out, and I was active. So I saw
you were active.
I was active. So I saw where it was taking place, but I had no idea what was happening or why it was taking place in this area. But when I did see the location, it really did excite me. Because it was just like, oh, okay,
yeah,
that's cool. I didn't think it was gonna be Hawaii.
Yeah,
but it's dope.
Yeah, initially I thought maybe the Lokaka would have something to do with it, since they were gonna be on an island. I thought maybe the fruit would somehow end up on the island, and we do get not the Lokaka, but something else that is new and introduced in this part that is very exciting. But I don't know, man. Like I avoided spoilers for the most part. I did kind of think that based on like things that I had heard that we were gonna be in for a new Giorno type of character, and that did prove to be right. But with JoJo, you can never guess what's coming.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've tried to predict what could possibly happen in every other part that we've read, and it's been completely like, no.
Yeah.
That's not what we're going to be doing.
Araki's mind it works different, dude. You can never be ahead of that man.
It really is. And it's like, when we talk about like timelines, obviously from the Stone Ocean reset, it is just like funny because like the timeline shouldn't add up to something that does occur. But it's like, okay, well, it's Araki's favorite, so we're not going to ask any questions.
Well, no, this is you're talking about Rohan?
Yeah.
I mean, this is an alternate reality version of Rohan. This is a Rohan that has never met the Joestars before, presumably. I mean, I do think that maybe
because they're happening at the same time.
Well, in this universe, what I understand and what my best guess is that maybe he has like an understanding of the Joestars, and maybe he has had experience with them, but not the same experiences, obviously, that part 4 had.
Yeah.
So it is just interesting because he's the only character that has been brought back that doesn't look different. Like, he is the same.
Well, of course. That's why I mean, like, it is his fave. Like, it is his insert. So it's just funny of, like, everyone else would be, like, touched by this thing. And it's like, nope, not because you cannot touch Rohan Kasebe.
Yeah. He's perfect. You can't fix perfect.
Yeah, you can't change it.
Yeah.
You can't change it. But that was a delight. But overall, my expectations were just, like, every time I go into JoJo, I don't really expect anything. I just...
Yeah. I'm open to wherever Araki wants to take me.
Let it ride.
You know, instead of Jesus take the wheel, it's Araki take the wheel.
Mm-hmm. But I never would have thought that Jesus would have been
that's true.
A part of any JoJo, but here we are.
The Bible is a JoJo reference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I didn't expect all the reveals and just the insanity and depravity of the beginning events of this part. It threw me for a loop so many times, but in the best way. And I can't wait to start talking about it. So let's just get into chapter 1. All right, chapter 1 opened with a description of stands, which is so cool to see. And then we meet Jodio. That's his name. Yeah. I think it's like safe to assume he is this universe's Giorno sort of like almost equivalent. He's very different. He's his own character.
I mean, yeah, they're completely different. One is like, I'm against drugs. I'm the head of Dare. And he's like, you dare me to give you some drugs. Right. I dare you to do some drugs right now because I'll do it. I'll do a line on this.
You dare me to sell you some drugs? I'll do it.
You think I care? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's everything. Like I was like, I wrote down like, oh, like Giorno wishes he was as cool. It's like he's like the cooler version. Giorno's like a nerd version.
Yeah, and he's significantly. I don't remember how old Giorno was, but
Giorno was 16.
Oh, he was. He was.
Yeah, I think he was. I think a lot of they were young kids.
They look like grown men. Not Giorno as much as like some of the other guys, but
I'm pretty sure Giorno was young. But he's baby.
Yeah, he's 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy, dude, because we see him like, I mean, it's crazy that a 15-year-old is doing the things that he's doing.
Is it though?
I mean, I guess not. I guess not.
They'd be crazy. Okay,
That's true.
Kids be crazy now, and this is just a representation of Rocky knows the kids be crazy now.
Oh yeah, dude.
Kids are changed.
Yeah, and he really wanted to do some new things in this part, and I really respect sort of like every decision that he has made and every change that he has made to subvert my expectations. And one of those things was like, it's about we're told like in the very beginning, like what it's about. Like we were told in Jojolands, it's about breaking a curse. Like we were told in Steel Ball Run, it's about learning to walk again. We're told here in the beginning, it's about one person. And I think that's significant. One person and one boy that gets very rich.
And I think, and I mean, I just like a theory, I guess, of like where it could go, because it is revealed that he is like a textbook like psychopath.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't know if we ever got another psychopath on paper. Because out of the like 20
That's
questions,
the Brando in him, even though he's a Joestar.
18 out of the 20.
Yeah.
Check. So I don't know. I mean, he might like this might be the part where like, you know, there's been JoJo's that are like kind of gray, but I'm expecting some not so good things from him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be like the quote unquote like save the day type of JoJo, which obviously like Joestar, I guess, which we've seen before. Like Giorno was like obviously involved in like criminal activity, and even Stone Ocean. Jolene, that's crazy how she got away with that. Hiding in a dead body. But yeah, we've seen it time and time again. So I am curious to see where he goes. But so like that caught me off guard.
I mean, already like, yeah, I mean, there's so many things, like not even having one Joestar at the forefront of the story. Like it's his story. It's Jodio's story, but there's another Joestar, a sibling involved as well. And this is something that I think a lot of people have wanted. I think you have said you wanted for a long time, not just siblings, but twins. But here, I mean, siblings is cool, man.
Yeah,
like, really cool.
I was like hoping for at least one part I don't even know what part, but I was like, how cool would it be to have like twins, like twin Joestars, like because they share like the same womb and they're like both connected to the destiny. Like that would be so sick. And I think we'll see that here. But yeah, it's cool. Siblings, like that's sick.
Yeah. And we're introduced to both of them right off the bat. We have them being stopped by police officers. And again, it feels very current in the sense that, like, you know, COVID's being mentioned and
Dua Lipa.
A Dua Lipa.
I don't know if that's just like a translation. Like, let's just put Dua Lipa. But
Rocky's a fan.
Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
But they're getting pulled over by some a-hole cops. Is there any other kind? Just kidding.
Yeah, that's a very consistent theme within this JoJo already.
Yeah, that
Part
all cops
9,
are bad.
All cops are horrible.
Yeah.
And I think it's just funny because it's, I mean, Hawaii, like Florida, like we've seen a lot of cops in the USA. So it is just funny that Iraqi is like very, I don't know, everywhere else on earth knows what be going on in America's United States. So it is just crazy to see this in a manga of like, oh yeah, this is like asshole cops.
Yeah.
Pulling over for no reason.
Bro, and this cop is a particularly bad person because he's borderline, well,
not borderline.
He's borderline R-wording, but like straight up essaying someone on the side of the road.
I mean,
like, what the hell? But yeah, so we see two of our, I'm going to assume, rightfully, I think that these two characters specifically, obviously Jodio, but Jodio's brother are going to be main characters throughout. And then the other Jo Bros that we meet early on, which is another thing I really like about this part, is how early we're meeting the Jo Bros.
Well, maybe.
And, seeing their stands.
Maybe. I feel like it is, I don't know. I mean, we did get Joe Bros in Jojolion, but that wasn't the main point of the story. And I feel like Araki's kind of like, I don't know, like not wrote himself out of that trap, but this is just about, like you said in the beginning, one person getting rich. Whether that mean he has to like, be on his own and do that, or like, I don't know, like end up ditching these three. At one point he calls them like garbage, so I don't know.
But I mean, throwing a sibling into the mix, I mean, that's going to make for a lot more emotional, I think, cutting of ties, if that ever has to happen, if it ever comes to that, or betrayal or anything.
I mean, he is a psychopath, so anything can happen. That's why, like, the evolution of this character, I'm so excited to see, because if Araki, like, really pushes the limits of, like, what this character is doing and, like, quote-unquote good, like, I am here for it. And that's just, like, obviously a theory, but...
Yeah. But we see the cop harassing who we learn to be Jodio's brother. And this is an interesting character because there's been a lot of discourse online, like there is with everything, about how this person identifies, right? And Mehgan, you found something really interesting. I don't know if now's the time to talk about it, but...
obviously, like, it was, a reveal of, like, oh, this character... on the outside isn't necessarily like all the whole story, I guess. But well,
because and before you go into that, because I think there are people saying this is clearly a trans character. End of discussion. There are people who are saying, well, the pronouns used by Jodio would indicate that maybe they are just a female presenting person, maybe non-binary pronouns in the Japanese language. Maybe it's a translation thing.
Or they like feminine clothing,
right,
and like to wear that, so like obviously getting implants would like drive that forward, right. I guess, I don't know, they like how they look in them, but I found something like in Hawaiian culture called mahu, and it's basically like the third gender or the in-between, where like transgender and transvestites were in fact viewed in the ancient Hawaiians as normal element to social like hierarchy in society. So it's people that kind of identify with both feminine and masculine traits that don't really, they can go on either side, but it is kind of like a third gender, which could also just be like, I don't have any gender. I'm, both things, like non-binary. So I just thought that was like really interesting. And I do think like Araki does his homework wherever he goes, Italy, Florida, pretty much anywhere, Egypt. I mean, anywhere that it is set in a JoJo part, there are things that relate to the culture, and he brings them in the forefront in the story, which I think is so fun because we've learned so much about all of these different cultures the more we've read about JoJo. So I don't think that it would be just a coincidence that we do have this character that is using like he, him pronouns, but also likes to present as female.
Yeah, because you can present as female and your pronouns can be, I mean, it's really down to personal preference, whatever you want them to be, however you identify. You can be presenting however you feel most comfortable, and still be he, him, they, or all of them,
or all of them.
It's up to you.
So I just thought that was really interesting.
And what is it called again?
Mahu.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And it's like MAHU, and other people online and everywhere else are saying like, I think it's a direct, this is a direct response to like Hawaiian culture and native Hawaii, like which we see like throughout because it's literally set there. So I think that's what he did, and I think that's really cool. And I feel like we're seeing a lot of like this representation in manga, which is really, really sick, like super sick. So I think that whether you agree or don't, or you think that it hasn't been confirmed yet, but I do think that that is what is happening here.
Sure. I think that's a good assumption to make based on, like you said, the location and just how Araki does do his homework. But we see, and their name, by the way, is Dragona. Dragona. We see Dragona. I think there are so many things in this, so many like hot topics, racism, sexual assault, police brutality. Like, I mean, there's everything in this opening couple of pages. And we see this cop giving Dragona a very hard time, ultimately like pulling her out of the vehicle or pulling him, her, they out of the vehicle and assaulting them, discovering that they have male parts under the hood And
Under the hood.
and being like, this was kind of crazy too, like being like more into that, which
I mean, this cop is just a perv. I mean, we see it later on too with Jodio. Like, he just wants, I don't know, he's just overall just a person that needs to be erased. Yeah, that was just crazy. I didn't expect it to get that heated that quickly. So right off the bat, like it's just crazy shit.
Yeah, pretty dark stuff. And we even get a peek around this time at both of these stands, which is November Rain is the name of Jodio's stand, and Dragona. It's going to take me a second to really lock in everybody's names. The stand is named Smooth Operators.
Smooth Operators.
And I love that name. I think that's so cool, dude. And I love these kinds of stands. Similar to like Harvest. There's been so many. They have a name. But I love them. Yeah. I think they're so cool. And we see Smooth Operators change the license plate and
rearrange, and then the driver's license. And I liked this because I liked how it was in the beginning kind of painting them as like innocents,
right, harmless teens, but there ain't no such thing.
No, they're like, yeah, great, we did steal that car, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna light the police car on fire so there's no evidence. Like, they know exactly what they're doing. And I like that reveal. Of, are they just harmless? Is this just, we've dealt with this type of thing before.
Right.
And with our stands too, they're not, learning how to use their stands for the first time. They're already developed and they're already using them in order to commit crime.
Yeah.
So I do like that. And I've always liked that idea of what if stands weren't just for fighting. And there was a bit of discourse online about the stands that we've seen so far and how they aren't necessarily really driven to be fighting stands, but we saw that in Jojolands, and that's what I loved about Jojolands. It wasn't all about that. It was really about mental warfare and how to strategy, and I enjoyed that so much because we've seen it time and time again with other JoJo parts of a very strong, formidable stand, physical. But this again can be both, but just played in a different way.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that we're getting that again.
Yeah, I mean, I love both of these stands. I love November Rain. At first, I was a bit confused by what was happening. I thought, is it like melting the flesh of these police officers? Similar to, I believe, Vitamin C in Jojolands. But it's actually weight. The weight of the rain is causing the cops to fall over and it be pressed to the ground. And the way that it kind of looms over Jodio in that shot is so cool, man. I love the design of the stand, and I think I saw somewhere else as well too that this might be, unless the stand has other forms, it might be the least humanoid stand that a Joestar has had before. But I just think that seeing them, like you said, both of the stands introduced and them already knowing their abilities, knowing how to use them, and that sort of misdirect of, are they just harmless teens or are they up to no good, and then being up to no good, but not just no good, no good. Like they were doing they were smuggling drugs in surfboards, like that reveal in a stolen vehicle, crazy. They're like legit criminals.
Yeah. And I've always loved that concept in JoJo. We got to see it a bit in, Golden Wind, and obviously Stone Ocean with criminals having stand abilities. But it just makes so much sense that if someone had a stand, they would probably not be doing good with it. They'd probably be doing bad stuff to get away with stuff. Yeah. And I like how that is shown here. And it's not like they're wanting to hurt anyone. They're just doing crime. And it just is. These
cops weren't collateral damage.
Yeah. No, well, they weren't collateral damage. They needed to get got because they're bad cops.
That's true. But then we see them make it to the rendezvous point, I guess, where they were going to drop off the surfboard full of drugs. This took me by surprise. I was like, oh, damn. Oh, damn. That's and
I can't tell. I can't tell if it is just weed or they're smuggling other stuff. Dude, you think that's the white. You think that's the white. You think they're skiing.
I don't think they're surfing. I think they're skiing. Absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely. But we see, them interacting with this group of people, and we learn more about their mom and how their mom is this super sweet person that works at the airport and that everybody loves, and that because of what they do, they're able to provide like protection and also just like these services to their mother every morning. Like she gets someone to carry her bags when it's raining. She gets someone to hold her umbrella. Like she is taken care of.
And that's what's kind of shocking to me because like, I don't know. I mean, obviously she thinks that everyone is just kind to her because of just people being kind. But girl, I don't know if you're the best mom if all your kids are doing this shit behind your back. That's all I'll say.
I mean, she's a single mom. You just got to be a
little more attentive. Your kids are.
As someone else who was raised by a single mom, I empathize with her. My mom had her hands full, and I'm sure she does too. Anyway, shout out to all the single moms out there.
You're making me look real bad, bro. You're supposed to be like, yeah, for sure. Like, they are doing bad things and, putting cop cars on fire. Like, it's not like the best, but,
Sorry about that.
Each his own.
I do have your back, though.
Shit. Fuck me, right? Jesus.
I think this is around the time, too, that Jodie was talking about mechanisms. And I think that's going to be the really big theme that we see kind of, throughout this part. And I just think it's so fascinating because with every other concept that Araki has introduced, I think that mechanisms and the idea of mechanisms do kind of play into the already existing flow of this like new universe. All these themes seem to kind of like stem from the flow, right? You have, gravity and rotation and calamity and just like all of these different things, and good luck and bad luck being misdirected. And so, I think mechanisms, in my understanding of it, at least from these 8 chapters, are just sort of like these systems in place, these gears that turn, and it's almost like automated to a point. Like if you can set up all of these gears, and if you can build a machine and press the on button, then you don't have to be there for it to continuously start, for it to continuously pump things out for you.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to be seeing with the volcano rock. It's like you don't have to, he's not going to really have to work for anything if everything is just going to be drawn to him because of this thing. That's how he's going to get rich.
Yeah. Because, when he's talking about mechanisms, he's talking about them having like physical form or something like that, being able to see them. And it's just really interesting because there are like plants and things in the panel too. And there are like natural mechanisms.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of my favorite parts. I laughed out loud at this part when he is talking about mechanisms and he is talking about like, okay, well, you see that guy? That guy looks like he could probably beat my ass. That guy's taller. That guy looks like he's everything together, but he ends up like that on the floor getting his ass beat or, whatever, falling. But this is how I am.
Yeah, dude. With the bitches, dude. Yeah.
Like, but this is how I be dough. Like I literally laughed. I was like, oh, what a troll. Yeah. Like he does not. It was so funny. I loved that part. Meanwhile, I'm like this. And sometimes like this, like dead. Like I'm not like that bitch. Like, oh my God. So good. So good.
There's also a moment where he talks about his brother, and he does in this translation so far refer to Dragona as his brother and kind of uses male pronouns when referring to them. It says that they just enjoy wearing women's clothing and identify with that sort of like the feminine identity, and even have undergone some sort of cosmetic injection.
I mean, embodying both, right?
Right.
So I really do think that like Mahu is like really present here. And I'd like to hear what you guys have to say about that too in the comments, because it is just a really interesting character. And I just don't think that it's as easy as one or the other. But yeah.
This is where we also see the family tree, and I really do want to take a moment to just like talk about this family tree. It's so interesting because their mom is Joseph's daughter. That's crazy. We don't know who their father is, but I don't know, man. Like, just seeing them in the family tree, I did not I did not expect this to be their relation to the Joestars, I guess. It's just kind of crazy to me. I don't know why. I mean,
I know why
anything is possible in this universe.
Yeah, why is it so shocking? We've seen so many things be turned on their heads when it comes to relation and in this new.
I don't know. I was like, oh damn, like, this is crazy. Like they're really
up there.
They're really them. But yeah, that's when he talks about the guy. He also sees someone else on the bus that will come back into the story a bit later.
We see a drug deal go down. I mean,
this is how you do a drug deal.
This is how you do a drug deal. You know, you always have that one friend on campus that could hook it up. You know.
Yeah.
And this is him. So we get to see that, and then we meet another person who we'll see a little later. Which Paco, and he's cool. He can like steal stuff with his muscles.
At first, I thought Paco was like his ability was kind of whack until he used it. Until he started using it in later chapters, and then I thought it was like, dang.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is, right? I mean, it kind of like it's like
his muscles.
Yeah.
Can freaking like grab onto things no matter
without
where.
him.
Yeah.
Like having to do anything.
Yeah, like he is squeezing something with his hand, but not his hand, his muscle. I mean, it sounds painful, honestly. But when he started climbing up the tree with his back, I was like, oh dang, okay. But Paco's sick. A lot of speculation. People are speculating that Paco might be a rock human.
Oh.
Based on, some information that we find out later about.
That's interesting.
About him disappearing, or like not disappearing, but him going away for a year. Like, oh yeah, he's this age. 19, I believe, or something like that. He's still in high school. He was kind of chubby. Then he went away. Nobody knows where he went. I don't know.
And now he's like jacked.
And now he's back and he's jacked. And the line is like he's chiseled like a rock.
They sent him away because he got pregnant.
Maybe.
And now he's back.
And now he's back.
They said he went away for a little bit. It's a summer camp, and now he has a little brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting, and I think that could be definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
But
we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's cool.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about being interested in when we were, towards the end of Jojolands. Like I was wondering if we were gonna get a Joe Bro rock human.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like that Araki's kind of playing with it. He might be, he might not be, but it'd be cool.
Yeah.
If it was revealed that he was.
And this was another reveal that I like absolutely loved. Like boss fucking bitch. We get the reveal that the store owner that Dragona works at is also their boss and also the principal. Yeah, she is a big lady. And also
she's huge. Look at her head's hitting the ceiling. Her head is hitting the ceiling.
She's a boss bitch, okay?
Okay, she's a boss bitch, but she's a big boss bitch.
She's got to get business done. Would you mess with her? I don't think so.
No, I would not.
No. You get your ass beat. So I love this reveal. She is the owner of the store and also the principal of the school. So she is, I mean, she's like a boss bitch, but she really is like telling kids like what to do.
Her students.
And, like, her students and like having them like sell drugs for her and steal shit. But she's doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
And she is their boss and she gives them a mission.
She tells them about a diamond and a Japanese tourist that is going to be staying in Japan. Immediately, dude, when I heard Japanese tourist, I was like, who is it?
I didn't know. I knew it was going to be, I obviously knew it was going to be someone we knew, but I didn't know it was going to be freaking
No, I had no clue who it was going to be. But I was like, it's gotta be someone. There's some sort of significance to this person.
Well, the more they started hyping this person up, like towards the end, and I really, really love. We've seen it in previous parts before, but I think we got a lot of it in Steel Ball Run and Jojolands. But I really like the inner dialogue from.
Oh yeah.
From oh my god, what's his name? Jodio. Like it's been throughout. And it's definitely like in the forefront in this first chapter. Obviously, like he's just telling the audience like, things that he already knows, but kind of like explaining them.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy that.
I love that. And I love the narration because there's inner monologue or inner, dialogue and narration during very like curiouser and curiouser moments. Yeah. Because in the last chapter, there was a moment where it cut to the same line that was said in the beginning, but the moment it was chosen to be delivered, I don't know, man.
It's
kind of
almost
crazy.
like he's telling this story to someone else. It's
Right.
almost like he's recounting all of the events that happened, the moments before, or like the journey it took him to get this rich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm kind of feeling. It's like past tense. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they were this, they did that. We had no idea this was going to happen. Like, and I really, really like that.
Same.
And we get to see it here again. The more they hype up this person that has this, blue diamond, and they're going to split it and everything like that.
6 milli.
6
a
milli.
Cool 6 milli this
6
diamond is
milli.
worth, and they're going to split it not 3 ways, but 4 ways, because there's someone else that's going to be joining their crew, the same person that we saw Jodio really professionally deal drugs to on the bus, and his name is Usagi.
Usagi.
Usagi, this is interesting. After doing a little bit more research, I really did think that Usagi looked like similar. Something about this like first panel of him really did kind of remind me of Diavolo, his other personality. I think, if I'm correct, when I was doing some research before recording the episode, I think even his stand is a reference to the King Crimson song. So that would be another like sort of homage to Diavolo.
That's cool.
There as well. Again, being like sort of a reimagining of part 5.
That's cool. But yeah, he joins the crew and they're like, okay, well, this guy's just like not what we can do with the 3. We work together as it is. Why are we involving a 4th person? But whatever. This is what I liked, setting up the story, or setting up the person who is staying in this estate with the diamond of like 3 wouldn't have been enough.
Yeah,
and even 4
that's what I'm saying. That's crazy.
Wasn't going to be enough.
Oh my God, I love that device.
And I was like, oh shit, we're in for it now. Who is it going to be?
Yeah.
And then we get to them beginning the heist of the home.
At the end of this chapter, at the end of the first chapter, this is why I loved this first chapter so much, was because we have the Jobro seemingly established. And I thought I was going to hate Usagi when he first came in. But man, has he grown on me, and I
you
really
like him?
do. I like him, dude. He's actually like, he's actually smart, and he actually like has good ideas and wants to do experiments. My God, dude, if I have to, Paco, like I love Paco too. Like if I was gonna cosplay these characters, it would be Jodio then Paco. I mean, he's so sick. But bro, I was just so frustrated when Usagi's the one telling him like this, like in later chapters, like, guys, I don't think this is a security system.
Okay,
this is a stand.
We've had it before.
But
we've had it before. The rock human, literally, Papa Higashikita kept saying over and over, I don't think this man is human. I think he's something else. You know what? Actually, I don't think this man is human. I think he is. He has to be something. He's completely something different. Like it was literally like it was like 4 chapters in a row where it kept saying the same shit, and I was like, bro, like we know.
Yeah.
And it is just.
But this, I know. But I was like, dude, how many times does this man have to tell you? But anyway, the Joe Bros are seemingly all established, and their stands are all except for Usagi, which we assume at this point, I assumed was a stand user. We don't see his stand, but we see everybody else's, the Hustle, Smooth Operators, and November Rain. This is so cool to me because in so many other parts we had to wait so long, and that was part of the fun too.
Well, I don't know if this is going to be like this, like super established Joe Bros. It might change down the line. Like we see here, there's stakes. I mean, people go to jail.
That's true.
So maybe they're gonna get arrested. Like who knows? Who knows what could happen? I think that introducing them so early on is a sign that something might change.
Yeah, it could be.
Which would be kind of crazy.
I do feel the stakes a lot in this part too because of the events of this next chapter.
Bro, why does she kind of look like Anne Hathaway? Like
I can see it.
You can see it, right?
I can see it.
In the like that one panel when she's like heading over the bike. But this shit was so funny to me too. He's just so like unserious, and he's that type of person that'll say a joke to you and then be like, "I was just joking. Why are you mad?"
Yeah.
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 He's like, so you're just gonna like not stand up for yourself?
Because
like, damn,
cool, dude.
He's that cool.
He's that guy.
He's that guy. But this whole interaction with him and this lady, he's like, why are you talking to kids? Like, get the hell out. Like, okay. She's like, I heard you sell drugs. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, you gave it so easily. Like, what's going on here? And he's just like back and forth with this lady.
And his whole method too, for like, again, he did it the first time too with Usagi. His whole method, I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, take notes, okay? Take notes. It's so like, I don't know. I think he's pretty smart about how he goes about it, like saying like, oh, I'm not like taking your money. Like, you owe me money. And if you don't play along, then like deal's off. Like, we're not doing this. And he's like, you know what I mean? He's like, just go walk over there. And then somebody else comes by. Like, I don't know. It seems like
they have an operation.
It's an operation. It's a system. It feels like this is not their first rodeo.
No.
They are people who do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But yeah, she ends up telling him the same BS bullshit that, like, I feel like cop dramas and all these TV shows, that's the thing, bro. They're trying to get you. Because, like, that was something that was in all, I feel like, these cop shows. Like, you know, or just something that people would say for so long. You know, if you ask them if they're cops, dude, they have to tell you, yeah. And then, I don't know, I feel like everybody just believed that until a certain point. Maybe someone tried it. Maybe enough people tried it, and they're like, yeah, that's not true.
That's not true. They don't have to release
that would defeat the whole purpose of them being undercover, you insane person.
Yeah, I really liked, too, how he was just, like, kind of, you know, obviously, rightfully so, sketched out by her. He's like, you know, the more I look at you, the more policey you get. You have that police vibe, you know? And she's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then, lo and behold,
she's a copper.
She's a copper with a gun. Get on your knees. You're under arrest. And lo and behold, again, it's the nasty ass cop. He's there being fucking weird.
Nasty.
And then we get, obviously, they can get out of this November rain. Let's go. The rain starts falling. They do their little thing. And I like this, you know, it's back and forth between him and Rocco. Right?
Who?
Jodio.
Oh, Paco.
Rocco. I think you're wrong. Like, Rocco rocks. Poco, he's like, I like you. Like, I sort of like you, dude. Like, you got out of that. That's sick.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy because even when they do have to, like, get out of these situations, like, they're talking about not just defeating or getting away from the cops, but, like, erasing all of the body cam footage and the camera that's in
experience.
That's what I mean. Like, I like that it feels like they're really covering all their bases. They're not just like running away.
No,
you know what I mean?
No.
Like, that's why I think the stakes sometimes feel so much higher, because they're establishing like, yo, this is like real. These are real stakes. Like, there are body cam footage, like body cam cams attached to police officers. There are like hidden cameras in like headlights. Like, you gotta take care of all of it if you're trying not to get caught.
Yeah.
So it's just really cool, again, to see them cover their tracks in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But here's when we find out about Jodio's sort of, I guess what you would call it, like a personality disorder that he has.
Yeah, he's a psychopath. Yeah.
What's the exact phrase?
He says psychopath.
Let me see.
It says that he's a psychopath.
I gotta zoom in because I gotta see exactly what he says. Because there is a difference. Psychological counseling.
Antisocial personality disorder. In other words, I'm a psychopath.
Oh, it is just. I was like, okay, yeah. I was thinking antisocial personality disorder, but he does say explicitly psychopath. Yeah, I was trying to defend him a little bit.
But
it's right there.
There's he just like lack of guilty conscience, cannot control their actions. Like, out of 20 questions, 18 he did, and his mom's like, no, that's just not true. But
this is so interesting to me. This makes for like a very interesting protagonist or like main character that we're going to be following through a series.
Yeah. I mean, that could just be because he answered those things because he's involved with crime, you know, and just as like, well, yeah, I have to answer that because I do that, you know, that's what makes a good like criminal, I guess. But I don't know if that's true or not, but that is interesting. It was just very like specific to put in the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to be going right now to the house.
Yeah, the gang all gets together and they head out. They have to go to the airport.
Rent a car.
Yeah, they have to rent a car, get a flight, and go to this villa where this mysterious person is at to get this diamond. They're kind of like scoping it out. They got a little map. ready to break in, and the whole time my heart is racing. Like, who
Boom,
is this
boom,
person?
boom,
Who
boom,
is this
boom.
person?
And we see this little cat.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cute guy.
Yeah.
You know, I was like very excited, like cute guy. He's just kind of chilling. And then we get to see Usagi stand in the forefront, and he's saying like, you have to ask me.
Yeah.
Say I want the camera.
Yeah.
And it can't be him that says it. And that's when Dragona says it. And then this little thing, his little stand goes and makes double, right? Makes
a copy of the thing that person wishes for. And I'm so bad at pronouncing things. Do you know how to
mate kudasai, which means like,
there you go.
It means, I think, like, wait, hold on.
Go. Right. I'm not sure, but that is how you pronounce it,
I think.
And yeah, it essentially makes a copy of something. And in this case, they use it to make a copy of the security camera attached to the villa. And I wasn't really sure the logic behind this plan. Usagi is a pretty smart guy, dude. And when he starts experimenting with other things down the road, some pretty good ideas that he brings to the table. He is kind of goofy as well, but this plan did not seem very foolproof at all. But everybody was really on board with it. It essentially created like two separate pieces of footage, and it made them look different in each one. But it's like, bro, they still have both.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
They still could like take your likeness.
Yeah, I don't know like what your plan was.
It means wait, please.
Oh, it means wait, please.
But it's also a King Crimson song too.
There you go. There it is.
There it is. But yeah, so sick. I liked this reveal of how it was used, and then I was so like, at first in the water, I was like, who is that?
I was like,
the
who
hair?
Is this Adonis? Right
Adonis.
And I really didn't have any guesses. I really was blown away I really was unsure of who it was going to be, and blown away when it was revealed. But when Jodio said, I know this person, I watch all of
he's famous.
Yeah, he's famous.
That's what I knew.
I was
and
like,
his anime online all the time.
And the
there
most
he is.
strappy panel, dude. Out of the pool, hair back, looking good, looking lean, looking fine. And
oh my God.
It ends up being Rohan Kishibe, obviously.
Thus spoke.
And thus spoke, dude. Them abs speak. That body speaks to me. But I love Rohan Kishibe.
Yeah, he's like your fave.
I mean, you know what's so crazy is that when we were going through Diamond is Unbreakable, Josuke, Okuyasu, they were my boys, right? And Rohan was there, and Rohan was cool, and I liked Rohan a lot. But after part 4, when I found out about the Thus Spoke Rohan Kishibe manga, and I started reading that, dude, it made me like really, really, really like fall in love with him. And now I am obsessed. I'm obsessed. It is curiouser and curiouser that he does seem to be the same, like not the same person in the sense that he has the same like memories and experiences.
Yeah, but he has the same stand. He looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But that was a cool reveal. I didn't expect that. And
I'm gonna be honest, I loved it.
Yeah. And how he might be involved in other.
Oh no, he is.
Yeah, right? I mean, we've seen it before when someone from JoJo comes back. I mean, it's just different because of the new timeline, right? But we've seen it. Well, Jotaro got brought back like 4 fucking times.
Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, after reading Thus Spoke Rohan Kishibe, this man stays going on crazy adventures, and he stays finding like really crazy, weird things. So when he was involved in this, to me, as someone who like read all that, it made so much sense, because this is what he does when he's not drawing manga. He's doing this. So I was like, oh yeah, this makes so much sense for him. I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was so fucking awesome. But yeah, this is where Jodio's tasked with being the lookout.
Jodio on the patio.
Jodio on the patio. Jodio on the patio.
Jody.
He's a big fan too. Big fan. He's
like, I love your work.
Yeah. Meanwhile, everybody else is in the house trying to get into the safe. The cat is still following them around.
Looming.
Very suspicious. Dude, there was this panel right here. I mean, I have to stop. Dude, it was so funny.
Reading it was like the comedic timing was perfect.
Yeah.
Dragona's like, please do not steal anything else. We don't have the capacity to steal anything else. Like, don't even try it. And then we literally have both of them stealing alcohol and also just like other things.
Like random
Paco's
shit. Stealing random shit.
Well, Paco like loves to steal. So he's just like a, kleptomaniac. So anything and everything he'll grab. But I just thought that was a really funny part.
Yeah, the timing was so perfect. But then we see Rohan sort of start to get wise to something going on
in the house. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get up and see what's going on here. And this is where I got flashbacks, like hella flashbacks to the last part. When I saw rocks all around the floor, I went, oh.
I didn't know. Yeah,
I was like, we're about to get another rock human right now. That's what I thought.
Exactly what was happening, and I still like don't know exactly, but I have like a better idea. I thought it was I at first I thought, was it like pieces of the wall eyes or something? Like I really thought there was going to be more of a connection.
Yeah, I just thought, just immediately my mind brought me back to the last part 6. I was like, part 6, part 8.
Yeah,
part 8. I was like, oh my god, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go, going with the rock humans. I they were cool. I liked them.
I liked them a lot. I want them to be.
You want more?
Part. Yeah, at least I want.
I might be a little rock
one.
human. I mean, that would be cool, but I'm a little fatigued on the rock human stuff.
Okay.
It was kind of a lot.
Okay, they need to go into their hibernation for a little bit.
Yeah. I think that's where they are right now. I mean, they might be involved in the lava. Maybe lava. Give me lava people.
Oh, there you go. They're like the step up above rock humans.
Give me lava people. Give me molten rock people. Give me like crust of the earth people. Like give me that. Like fire, like and rock magma people.
Okay. Never say never. Shit, it's JoJo. Anything can happen. And Jody, you noticed a bunch of this on Rohan's iPad as well, like all these photos and stuff. They even find a picture of a dog on the iPad too.
I think that's if I'm not mistaken, that is the Ghost Girl's dog. Remember?
It probably freaking is.
The Labrador.
It probably freaking is. Good catch. Then we still see this damn cat running around.
And I don't know. Rocky he knows how to draw animals. We've seen him draw animals. Sometimes he makes the animals. I mean, obviously these are like not really cats. So there's something else, but I don't know. We saw it again with the rock dog. Like that shit looked
That rock dog was terrifying. I don't know what that was. That was a freaking saber-toothed tiger or something. I don't know what that was.
It's like every shot looked different. No, but every shot looked different. Yeah. It was never consistent. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh. But anyway, we feel the pressure here because we're seeing the cat. Rohan's like, what is up with this cat? Whose cat is this? They're seeing the cat. They're going through it. They found the safe. They're hustling. They found the diamond, and there's also a plate of like rocks, like lava chunks in there too. They just take the diamond, and this is when shit starts hitting the fan. They got them strings on them.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah. And it's like tightening on their ankles, and it's tightening around them, and they don't know what's going on because they're like, okay, he's over there in the living room. Like, how can he be doing this? They find out.
This is the part, and I know it happens in every JoJo part, Mehgan. I understand. But, I mean, you got my guy Usagi right here saying it's a stand over and over and over.
They don't believe him.
This is some kind of crazy high-tech security device. This guy's loaded. This must be state-of-the-art. Disappearing string is state-of-the-art.
But they're all stand users, too. It's like, you obviously see it.
Exactly.
So why would you not think it? Okay, but...
Anyway, I mean, it's so insane. But, yeah, it's tightening.
Because they don't think that it's a cat. They're like, how could that possibly? We've seen it before.
But Usagi said, he's like, it has to be the cat.
And they're like, okay, bro. Okay, bro. Like, chill.
They're like
you just got here. Like, just calm down. Like, and you're a drug addict.
Yeah, they keep calling my man a drug addict too, just because he dabbles. But yeah, it was so funny, dude, because like he says, like animals can have stands too, and they all seem to kind of know a little bit about stands. So it's just the disrespect, the Usagi disrespect, dude. It's crazy.
He's just the new kid on the block.
Like, that's true. There's a little bit of hazing.
Yeah, and they're like, also like, who are you? Like, we know your boss told us to go on this like group mission with you, but we don't fucking know you. We don't do business with you yet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're right. Clock is ticking though. The strings are tightening on them, and they know now that Rohan can see stands and is a stand user. This is where shit really starts popping off, dude.
Bro, I mean, they're just going back and forth with this shit, and they're trying to cut it off, and they're just doing a bunch of shit to try to be quiet and also get out of the situation that they're in. Dragona ends up getting her shit off of her or them.
Bro, because she moves her like thumb and knuckle down to slide. I mean, really cool. And I like how
with the stand.
Yeah, I like how they all used their own stands in that moment to kind of like get these things off of them.
Yes.
Because I thought Dragona, when she figured that out, she was going to put the smooth operators onto Paco and like help him. But she left Paco or he or they left Paco to his own devices.
I mean, shit, you gotta do your own shit sometimes. But this is I loved. This is when it kind of gets weird, because this reminded me of me a lot, because I somehow lose everything that I touch, and I don't know why. It's just a thing. I can never, like, I'd be holding this pen and then be like, I lost it. Like, I don't understand how it happens. That's just a personal experience. Do
you have any lava rocks in your possession?
No.
By any chance? Then it's just you.
Okay. But Dragona finds the diamond and then puts it in Paco's bag, and then it falls out. And they're like, what the heck? How did that even happen? And then this was the panel. I was like, oh my God. Dragona reaches for the diamond, and there's Rohan around the fucking corner. Scary.
That was scary, dude.
Scary. He goes, oh, hi.
Yeah, that man.
Let me touch you real quick. Just a single touch, bitch.
That man looked menacing. The one eye around the corner.
One eye around the corner, like squat.
Yeah.
Squat, like.
Yeah.
Oh, you're here, sick. You're done. Like, you're done. And then.
And of course, we know he's able to use his stand to find out everything about them, find out their name, find out their history, like how many people are there, the boss, everything.
And they're like, they're freaking out. They're stressing. Dragona is sweating.
Yeah.
Everyone is sweating. And
I mean, he ends up kind of getting all of them, dude.
No, he does.
But
he does.
This is
Heaven's Door.
This is another scene where like Paco's using his stand to like hang to the ceiling. This is when I'm like, okay, I like it now. I understand it now. It's really cool. But damn, dude, it looks like, I don't know, it looks a little gross. Looks a little gross.
Because it's just like fleshy, like.
Yeah, but like you said, I love that we're throughout as they're all sort of getting, taken out. I do love that there are these like really strange and bizarre things that continue to happen around this diamond. And we already know that, something is not as it seems. There's something at play, a force at play that they do not understand, that we do not understand. And I mean, I was really on the edge of my seat to find out what exactly was so special. I mean, not necessarily about just the diamond, but the rock in the safe as well. And Jodio is the only one, by the way, who is smart enough to kind of like piece together
why it would be in the safe and why it would need to be locked up. And he kind of confronts, he does confront Rohan, and they tie him up or not yet. They don't tie him up yet, but they do end up he gets the better of him, and says like, why is this so important? Like, why do you want this so much? You need to, because he called the cops, and he's like, you need to call the cops right now. And he's like, I refuse. And he's like, oh, you refuse? And then breaks one of the rocks like a freaking G.
Yeah.
And was like, okay, there's only one left.
That shit was gangster. That was some real criminal, ruthless shit. Even when he tied him up too, I was like, oh,
he did tie him up. Yeah, bro. Like, he is on one. He's like, oh, hey, I really love you, though.
Yeah, big fan.
Big
calling
fan.
Him sensei and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, this, again, is a really cool sequence and moment, because throughout it, it's so much chaos, so much confusion. The fight, everything is really, really moving. And again, like, there was something about Dragonia's expression throughout these moments where they just can't really comprehend what's happening, and it's terrifying. It's so scary. Like, the situation and them getting caught and everything is so scary already. But now that this thing just unexplained, just kind of just keeps falling on the floor or appearing in other places, other things keep popping out. Like, I just felt all of their collective like fear.
Yeah.
And
it was very heightened. It's like someone getting caught, and they're all kids.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just someone that they think that, it's just the stakes. They did not think that were going to be that high. They thought they'd get away with it super easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he presses him a little bit, with the rocks. And
I mean, he basically, like you said, after he crushes one right in front of him, which was the most gangster thing of all time, he basically says, like, you're gonna call off the cops. You're gonna do it.
You're gonna call them. You're gonna explain that it was a mistake. Okay, sweetie.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing happened. Okay.
because you have them in a safe. I don't know why, but they're valuable, and your expression and reaction after me smashing one already lets me know that they're probably more valuable than the diamond.
Yeah.
So I got it, and you better do what I say, basically.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because Rohan leaves him with some words as he kind of like lets them go, that implies that he will return at some point in the story. He says, "I'm not giving this rock to you. I'm leaving it in your care, but things like you're taking on a responsibility. You're taking on things that you don't understand. There are going to be consequences for you taking this thing. Things are like surrounding,
and you're already being followed." Which I think he knew that he was being followed. That spoke, the cat walking around.
Yeah.
So Rohan knows for sure. But I just find it so funny because Rohan is a pretty like level-headed guy. When we've seen him,
I mean, he could get pretty crazy.
No,
sometimes.
but like, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to like a fight, it's just funny that he said like, yeah, I can't believe I got bested by a couple brats, because we've seen him fight younger people before.
Yeah.
So I just found it so funny. He's like, I guess, kind of mad about it.
Then we see that once they leave, we see that Usagi has taken a drawing, and that damn cat again is on the roof.
Multiples now.
But now it seems like there are multiple of them. Yeah. And again, this is where they are going to start learning more about this rock and what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was even a little curious as to how, like at the end, when Paco takes the diamond, that it seems like he's able to take it until later it falls out again. And in this chapter, what is this now that we're on chapter 6? We really start to learn more about the properties of this rock. And this is a crazy chapter. Like this is our first I would say proper enemy stand battle fight. Because the Rohan
he was putting up
counts,
a little bit.
I guess.
He's put a little bit of a fight, but
something tells me that Rohan is not necessarily going to stay an enemy. I think he's going to come back at a certain point, obviously in the story. That'd be crazy if he doesn't, because Araki does that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Or just you think something's going to happen again. He's like, the story ain't about that. The story ain't about Holly. The story is about breaking a curse. And you're like, damn, okay. Damn. So I don't know. Rohan might never come back. Who knows? But I do kind of count this as the first enemy stand battle of the part. And it's pretty intense, dude. It's pretty gory. It's pretty gruesome. They're getting sewn together.
The cats are going wild.
The cats are feral.
They're literally feral, and they're fucking crazy. And they're not like cats. They're like some other alien fucking beings. They might be fake cats. I don't know. I don't know. And
what it seems like is that they are cats, but that there is a stand user that is either
controlling
them or creating them. I don't know. But yeah, because that's what we find out in the last chapter. But during all of this too, they're finding out sort of how they're piecing together how it's working. Like the drawing that Usagi took is disappearing from his bag. And that's when Dragona remembers what happened with the money that Paco took and how it fell out of Paco's pocket. And so they're starting to put together that essentially what seems to be happening is that things of value are attracted to not the diamond, but the rock.
And things of high value.
And things of high value specifically, yes.
Yeah, so the drawing, like the original drawing from a mangaka would be high value. The diamond, of course, is high value. And they're piecing that together.
Yeah, they're piecing that all
while
together.
They're getting cut into pieces.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Jodio gets strung up. Dragona and Paco get sewn together. And my man Usagi is the only one.
No, he takes off. He takes off.
No,
he took off and then was like, fuck, I need to go back.
It was all part of his plan, his brilliant plan.
I saw a meme of that Danny DeVito scene where he's like a zoom in on his face, and I don't know where it's from, but I don't know if it's Always Sunny. It might be, but he's like, oh my God, I get it now. And it's literally like when Usagi comes back, I was dying. But yeah, Usagi, they think he takes off with the rental, and then they do their thing with their stands. November Rain steps in. And
it's trying to help Dragona and Paco because they are getting fucked up, dude.
They're getting wrecked.
Fucked up.
And in chapter 7, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. The eyeballs are bulging out. It's just not a good time for them.
Yeah, and I will say this, that I also saw somewhere else that I don't know if this is going to be something that continues throughout, but they are getting fucked up in this chapter. Like you said, their eyeballs are bulging out. Like it looks like the strings even snap their freaking necks due to they die. It looks like, I mean, it looks bad. And then in the next chapter,
oh my god, we've seen this in Jojolands. People's arms are getting cut off, eyes are popping. Like
I saw people, referencing Jojolands and referencing Steel Ball Run, where there were healing stands that were a part of the team or involved at some point, and how
I guess you're right.
Yeah, and how Gyro was having to do all this. Gyro's freaking whole leg was like open.
They're
dude.
all rock people.
I don't know.
That's the reveal. They're all rock humans. Rock humans are taking over the earth. Everyone's one.
It's the future. Rock people are the future.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I just thought that that was interesting. I mean, I do agree with some of those points made by others talking about this specific thing, and we'll see, how the story kind of moves from this point on, like if that continues to happen and be a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, Usagi didn't ditch nobody. That fool shows up to save the motherfucking day
with some burgers.
With some burgers. Talk about my kind of hero, dude. Talk about my Superman.
But you wouldn't like those burgers.
Oh,
caviar burgers?
Because they got caviar and I don't like seafood.
Ooh, I love seafood. Yeah. Caviar burgers. I literally, like, that picture of the burger, I was like, damn, Rocky knows how to draw a fucking burger. Like, that shit made me hungry. Juicy. For real. Yeah.
I want to get burgers after this.
Oh.
I want to get In-N-Out. For real. I wanted to get it the other day. I want it for real today.
After this?
Yeah,
you're going to be drawn like, whoa!
But Usagi, dude, such a good plan. They think he steals the rental, but he doesn't. He was, like you said, getting burgers. He crashes the rental into the tree, causing the cats to fly everywhere. And he took some caviar, high-value stuff from Rohan's villa, puts it in the burgers, feeds it to the cats. Now they're attracted to the lava rock. The man is a genius, and they're lucky to have him on their team.
But is it so? That's what's crazy though to me. Like, so everyone that eats anything expensive is going to be drawn to this rock.
They specify that the rock seems to at this point.
Oh, the owner
seems to have an owner.
And it's like remembering the owner. So they just kind of have to like wing it off Rohan.
Right. So it like had to be high value stuff
from him that he
from
owned.
Rohan, I think. That he owned.
Yeah, that he owned, because he said he stole it from Rohan.
Or maybe not, because that wouldn't necessarily make so much sense later, because no one owns those watches in the next chapter. So what it might be is, anything of value in the area, and since they were in a forest, that was the thing of highest value. So that was part of Usagi's plan too. So it might have not been as foolproof of a plan if they were in a more populated area, but in a specific range in a forest. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he shows up, saves the day, kind of gives him his whole plan.
Yeah.
And go off, King. That's what I say.
Go off, King. Usagi. More like Woosagi, because that was a major W. That's right. And I'm sticking to it. I also want to say the cats. I mean, I know you said Araki draws like animals sometimes. He draws them crazy, but the panel of the cats with all the strings off of them was terrifying, dude. Scary as hell.
But Usagi uses his stand to make a net, and they catch them all. And he really just saves the day. Honestly.
Yeah, he really saves the day for them. They would have died for sure.
Bro, the story would have been over.
Yeah, it would have been like, bye. That was it.
And I really hope Usagi. He keeps up, because he's also funny. He's not like just a goofball. He also does provide some sort of value.
I don't know. I was still sus about him.
I mean, I'm
throwing you off the trend. The scent.
Right. I get what you're saying. Maybe because this is because this is like a reimagining of Part 5, and Araki didn't have the heart when Fugo left. He didn't have the heart to like pit them against each other. So maybe he said, you know what? It's been a long time. I'm different now. Fuck it. I'm going to make you care about these characters, and Usagi's going to be the new Fugo, and they're going to fight. They're going to have to. We cracked it right here in the first episode.
The first 8 chapters.
Yeah.
We cracked Jojolands.
But yeah, dude, and that's where they defeat the cats but they still, Jodio or the narrator is still saying that they are being watched. And they've been being watched.
Since the villa.
Now we get to what is the final chapter as of this recording. And I want to say that I don't know why, but this was maybe my favorite chapter.
Bro, because the I mean, we have to wait. It's like as far as this recording, it's having a break in October. Rocky's having a break in October. We're getting a new chapter in November. So I mean, because the impending doom I feel from what is about to occur, and I feel like Jody felt that and was like, maybe we shouldn't because we don't know exactly how it works. It could react in a way that we don't know. And Dragona's like, no, it'll be fine. We're not gonna steal anything. It'll be fine.
Nah, I got it.
We're totally cool. And it ended up not being cool at all. And it ended up being like just not what they wanted at all in this moment in time. And I do like how they're going to have to figure out a solution by themselves because Jody and what's his name? Paco are gonna have to deal with this other stand.
Yeah.
The other stand user, should I say.
I think I like this chapter so much because it had everything, right? I'm a sucker for any kind of heist story, and I really do like the fact that, you know, in part 5 they were mafioso, but here they're like more like petty criminals, and I kind of like that. I think that's more interesting, and I think that lends itself to a more like engaging.
They don't really have like a strong moral code that they're following. They're just like, where's the money at?
Yeah, and they're young, but they're, like you said, they're problem solving. They're trying to figure things out, and they're like having some comedic moments throughout. It's like doing a really good job of like building up the dynamic between all of them at the same time, like, you know, introducing these stakes when they do go into the watch shop, fleshing out their character more. I really like this chapter so much. I really do think it was my favorite one. But of course, Usagi's the one who's you know, putting his mind to the test, and he's trying to run some experiments. And he puts like a $20 bill under the lava rock, and he draws the symbol that is on his clothing on this dollar bill, which is a very interesting symbol, dude.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that mark is.
It looks like legs being spread wide open. Usagi, come on, dude. Come on, what is that? What is that? Explain yourself, please. And at first they don't really think it worked, right? Because they're gonna.
Yeah, this is so funny. Yeah, like the dollar, like Usagi throws the dollar, and Dragona's like, "Why did you throw it away?" And it's like, okay, wait, no, that guy's picking it up to go pay for his meal. Why did you do that? Give me my $20 back.
Yeah. And then they're like, he's buying something. He's eating something. Yeah. He's leaving. He's walking away.
It didn't work. Yeah. They're like, oh shit, my bad.
Because they're thinking, their logic is it was since the diamond was in the vicinity of the rock, and because it was its owner, it recognized its owner as Rohan. Then maybe these all, and the proximity of how close they were in the safe, like these all are factors into why it keeps attracting these two things together. Which is why when he placed the rock onto the dollar bill, he let it sit there for a while, so it could kind of like, I don't know, get to know the freaking $20 bill. And at first, like I said, they don't think it works. But then Paco shows up and he tells this whole story about how when he opened a drink, a fly flew in. So he complained and they gave him a new drink and a refund. And the refund was the same dollar bill. So it found its way back. But it didn't come just like appearing back to them. This is what I think is so interesting about how this lava rock works.
Well, it's like Rohan said, it's a law of nature that lies within it.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, the law of how it gets back to you.
I mean, it's like some sort of like butterfly effect situation. Again, the flow, right? Flow has been such a huge overarching theme in all of these like new universe parts of JoJo. And so how it can literally affect, you know, people's not necessarily their free will, but like, I don't know, it changes people's,
it's like destiny.
Yeah. And destiny is another huge theme in JoJo too. And it changes their course to make these things happen a specific way. That is crazy powerful. So I think just touching the rock to these things and having it like come back or fall out, like that's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of power.
Yeah,
of
I mean, it's like $20 you could do that with an unlimited, like, millions and millions of dollars.
But also affecting and changing the course of like people's day to day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also like pretty insane. And I think that it's a really interesting concept that I really cannot wait to find out more about. But they're all kind of piecing it together. And again, like this was a really, really funny moment, informative moment, just great moment. They get the idea to go into the watch shop, like you were saying. And they have this foolproof plan. They're saying they won't let Jodio in. And Dragona does like make a good point. She says they won't let Jodio in because he's 15, and they won't let Paco in because he looks the way he looks. But Dragona says also, like, we shouldn't get on our plane until we figure out what's going on. And I think that's smart, because if it's changing the course of destiny in a sense, right? Or like people's actions, who knows what could happen on a plane? You know what I mean? If they don't know, if they do something wrong, like it could, I don't know, man. It could be the Final Destination shit, causes the plane to crash. Some Rube Goldberg butterfly effect shit. Who knows? But I don't know. Dragona wants to take the lead and go into this watch shop and test it out. So they put the diamond in their satchel, whatever, their pouch, and the lava rock in their chest. Which at first I was like, this is, I mean, what do you press your chest up against stuff? But they had a really smart way of using it.
It's like another pocket.
Yeah. I think we should implement that. I think that should like become a part of fashion.
It is.
People walk around with freaking emblems on their chest with pockets in them.
Oh, I didn't mean that. I just meant putting stuff in your boobs to hide it. That's what I meant. I was like, that's since the beginning of time. That's how things
No, it's not.
work.
It's not in boobs. It's in, like the emblem on the back.
No, I know. I was just doing like a joke.
Oh, you were calling boobs the pocket of the body. That's what you were
on
doing.
the chest area.
Right. Got it. Classic. Always gotta have one of those.
Always gotta have one of those.
And I love just again slowing down and seeing even Paco and Jodio kind of hanging out, eating chicken together, eating chicken burritos.
Oh my god, I'm getting hungry. I haven't eaten all day today. Literally, like, don't say chicken burritos. Like, I'm gonna go feral right now.
I had crackers. That's all I had. I'm hungry. And it cuts to Usagi and Dragona in the shop, and Usagi is trying his best. My man is trying, dude, because Dragona's nervous.
Dragona is so nervous, and I feel like I resonate because I feel like we've talked about this before. When you're going into a store, but why are you nervous? Like, I don't know that you're gonna steal like something, or like people are gonna think that you're stealing something.
Bro, even if I'm not stealing something, sometimes when I walk out, I think I'm gonna get busted for stealing something, and then I go, wait, I didn't steal anything. But then I'm still scared.
Or I'm just hyper aware of where I'm putting my hands, when I'm reaching in my bag to grab something. Like, I know I'm not going to take anything, but it might look like I'm taking something, and then I'm going to get confronted about taking something. The first thing that someone is confronted when they said they're not stealing anything is, I'm not stealing anything. I don't have anything. Yeah. So it's just this whole thing that I don't want to deal with every time. It's never happened before, but it's just interesting because here Dragona's like, oh, actually,
And Usagi tries to come in, and again, for all the credit I've given this man over the course of these chapters, he kind of drops the ball here. He's like, "Yeah, I want a Polex, and
what
some
is it called?
Wi-Fi,
it's the class,
Bluetooth. What do you say? Charging with a charging port
like,
made of pure gold.
You mean a Rolex?
Yeah,
we have those. Yeah, we definitely have those, sir.
But Dragona pulls out the inner thief within them and pulls a slick move, opening the pouch to kind of flash the diamonds to the salesman at the watch shop's like,
starts being
right
real
this
nice.
way, right this way. I'll show you the real good stuff. Come to the back.
Starts being real nice.
Yeah. So they're in the back room now with all these very expensive watches. They're trying them all on, and as Dragona's trying them on, they're like pressing it against the lava rock, right? And leaving it there for a minute, trying to get it to, like, I don't know, like just
assimilate,
yeah, to just read these watches of value to kind of see what happens. Now, I do think that they genuinely thought that things were gonna like be okay, that nothing crazy was gonna happen. I don't know because we saw how or why they thought that, but I think they genuinely thought that.
Yeah, because they went in, they're just testing it, of course, but it's like if you test anything, it has to be something of value. Like the $20 is like no big deal, you know. But this is a big deal because you're literally in a place that sells expensive ass shit, and it's gonna look like you stole something if it's not there, which is exactly what happens here.
Yeah.
So yeah, things are kind of hitting the fan when the store owner realizes like, hey, one of the watches is missing, and we're gonna lock the doors and we're gonna figure out what's going on here.
But the way this all played out, I mean, the slow like kind of turning and closing and locking of the door, like it was very like, oh, fuck.
Not
like,
saying anything to them, just doing it like, oh shit.
Yeah. And then also, just confronting them and saying like, okay, I know you guys stole something, you know, give it back.
Yeah.
And I think what's so crazy is that obviously one of the watches is missing, but I think that because we've seen two ways that this lava rock can work. It can change the course of like, you know, I'm going to just keep saying destiny. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but it can keep doing that so that these objects kind of like find their way back to you. But it can also do a second thing where things like seemingly just like appear places. Like it seemed like the diamonds seemed to just be like, it never showed it like falling out. It just kind of was somewhere, or the money was just kind of somewhere. And so, I don't know. It seems like, because there's a panel where Dragona kind of looks down, and it seems like, you know, Dragona's panicking because they're like, oh, fuck, like, it's in my emblem. It's by the rock, and it's going to look like I freaking put it there.
It like, what is it? What is it? Teleport?
Like teleported.
Yeah, like it's like a teleportation.
So it's, I mean, there's really no way out of it. I mean, what are they going to tell me? They got a magic rock that just like teleport. I'm going to try that, next time I go to an expensive watch shop, which is never. I'm going to say, oh, no, I don't know how it teleported into my pocket. I got a lava rock back there.
Did they turn on the cameras in that moment, or were they already on? Because if they were already on, then they can see that.
You know what's even scarier is they might have turned them off because of what they're going to do to get their watch back. Yeah. Now, I don't think these particular individuals, they don't really give me stand user vibes.
No, not at all.
But they do deal with very expensive items, so they might be violent.
They might be packing.
They might be packing. Those security guards are big boys. You know what I mean? They might rough them up a little bit to get their stuff back. Who knows? And then it cuts to Jodio and Paco, who are just trying to eat some chicken when they notice decapitated cat heads in the bag, and almost like a shot.
It looked
the distance.
I think it was a gunshot. They said like, oh, it was a warning shot. Like that was a warning.
Yeah. Or even maybe like the strings again or something. I don't know, but gunshot might be what it was.
And I think the doo-doo, is that an alarm?
Maybe. Or this in the last panel.
No, if you scroll up, it says doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Is that like an alarm?
Oh, maybe.
Like right there.
Yeah.
Not with the cat heads,
know,
that one.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't know. Maybe.
Either way,
they're fucked.
They're fucked.
Okay?
Yeah, they're fucked. And it seems like you were saying a stand user was controlling the cats, and they're approaching, and Paco and Jodio are going to have to deal with them, like you said, by themselves.
Fugo?
Wow. Yeah.
Paco.
Well, I was saying that.
I know, but
Usagi is going to be like a...
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know yet. There's just very similar names.
But that is where it ends. The story so far, as of this recording, only 8 chapters are out. Like Mehgan said, the next chapter will be coming out in November.
November 17th.
November 17th to be specific. What are your thoughts on these 8 chapters and this part overall now that we've kind of gone through everything?
I mean, the best parts of JoJo, I don't want to say are the beginning, but it's just so much fun. The beginnings are always so much fun, getting to know all these characters, getting to know their motives, getting to know just the overall story and plot lines and world building. I really enjoy that part of JoJo. Every time we start a new part, I always say, oh my God, this might be my favorite part, because every beginning of a JoJo is so fucking strong. And this is no exception. Like, this has been so much fun to read. We're spoiled. We can, we're used to reading 30 chapters at a time when we do one of these types of videos. So it is just weird to leave off on a 9th chapter or 8th chapter, going into the 9th. But I mean, I had a great time. I am really excited to see where it goes and what is introduced. And if we are going to see rock humans, if we're not, And if Jody's going to be the last man standing, if he's going to be the one who is just a rich guy, and that's the story.
Well, yeah, I think that's what's so interesting, because the moment that I was talking about earlier is the moment when Dragona is in the room looking at the watches, but then it cuts to Jodio, and the panel and the framing of the panel is kind of like, it's a lot of shadow. It's very like sort of like ominous, sort of maybe even dark. And that's when that line comes back. The line that says, like, this is the story about one boy becoming rich, you know? So it's almost directly implying that something is going to go wrong for everybody else but this one person. So how is that going to affect their relationship and the things that happen?
And that's interesting because, I mean, we've had it happen before, but just because of, I don't know. It feels like it's really, I mean, yeah, I was going to say like it happens because of death, like death in characters, but we've seen that before. It's not like they're like choosing to die. But it's clear that this person, Jody, is like willing to do anything it takes in order to become rich.
Yeah.
You know, and that might be like betraying people. That might
be for the
be,
mechanism, everything for the mechanism.
Yeah. So it is interesting. It is interesting.
Yeah. I think for me, I agree with a lot of what you said. Every time a new part starts, it's my favorite moment of the series, because everything, like you said, is so fresh and new. And in the case of part 9, it feels extremely fresh and extremely new. Araki does it every single time. The introduction of siblings that are Joestar siblings, and this group of Joe Bros that are like these petty thieves. Just the stands and the introduction of the stands and the group so early on, but also the stakes. And it feeling like they're going to be this group of, you know, ragtag sort of criminals that go on all of these like sort of like heists or you know, all of these sort of like jobs, and all this chaos starts like unfolding around them. I just think it's so fun. I think there's a lot of things at play here that Araki's doing, like the inner monologue from Jodio and the narration, because some of it does feel like it might be in the moment, and then some of it does feel like it could be coming from the perspective of that person, possibly Jodio in the future, retelling the events of the story, or from a narrator. But all of it just makes it so much more interesting. Like I feel like so much more on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
It's just doing a really good job of being almost like a thriller as well. Like I just really find myself obsessed with these first 8 chapters. And in terms of like predictions and where it's going to go, I really have no idea at this point, because everything that we've been introduced to is still so fresh. We don't really have a whole lot of information. I would like to see Paco potentially be revealed as a rock human. I think that would be very interesting. And I'm interested to see what else, if anything, carries over from part 8. Does the Lokaka come back? Do rock humans come back?
Yeah.
And what other characters might come back?
Yeah, I feel like this is, I forget if I've seen it said somewhere else, probably, but it just really does feel like this is a culmination. And we've felt it before, but, you know, Uraki puts obviously all of his experience writing these parts into each other part. Brings the knowledge of the previous into this one. What can I fix? What can I change? What can I do better? And already off the bat, like, this is it. Like, this is it. Like, this is like a culmination of all of his previous work. This feels like a mesh of part, you know, Golden Wind and Stone Ocean and, you know, the previous part with this like flow of, you know, Calamity and Destiny and it all being intertwined. And it feels like it's coming to a head here. And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I like you said, I mean, there are things from each part that I love and I think work so well, and things that I wish would have, you know, maybe happened differently, or that I just didn't feel like as connected to. For example, like you bring up Stone Ocean, and I just didn't personally, I know everybody has their own opinion, but I just didn't really feel the connection between the Joe Bros from Stone Ocean. And I already kind of feel it here. And it's just the beginning. I know it's just the beginning of their relationship and their dynamic really forming, but I'm already so endeared to their dynamic and to these individual characters. I just love how they've all come together. And Golden Wind is another divisive part for some reason. I mean, I get it. I hear the criticisms, and the criticism, for the most part, the ones that I've heard are valid. But for me, Golden Wind was a part that I loved so much, especially in the anime. It just popped off. Like, I think that's like the best the anime has ever been. Like, was Golden Wind. Like, it was just, it was incredible. And I love that part. So for this to be like an alternate reality Giorno and almost like a retelling ish type of story of that part, like, I'm on board. I'm all the way in. Because I was already such a huge fan of that. And it already does, like I said, it feels so completely different. And it's just exciting, man. It's exciting to be here. And it's exciting to be a monthly reader for the first time ever. How does that feel for you to be like caught up now with JoJo?
Yeah. I mean, I had never really experienced that other than like reading One Piece, obviously, earlier this year or last year, becoming monthly readers. I forget. I think it was last
Weekly
year.
readers, yeah.
Weekly readers for One Piece. But even like Berserk too, like still ongoing. And it is just like a kind of crazy feeling that we have been covering JoJo on this channel for a very long time. Like maybe 2 years now. And it has been the beginning of our journey reading it. And then we became more consistent with all of the parts. And we have a full playlist on our channel, by the way, of all of the JoJo parts. Usually 3-parters, and usually the last episode we like to do cosplay. So obviously super excited about this part. When we get to there. But yeah, it's crazy. It feels because, One Piece and JoJo, like, they've been going on for so long, and to finally be a part of the community and in the discussion while it's happening, rather than just see, 10-year-old memes about not Stone Ocean, Stone Ocean, but also like, part 7
or Diamond
or
any parts.
Anything. We weren't there. So now it feels like, oh, we're here now. Like we're here now. We're not just, using the past. Like, we're here in the present. This part is in the present. It's just so exciting. It's so fresh. It's so new. It's so fun.
Yeah, I think it does change the experience of reading this part, right? It changed the experience with One Piece for us, and like you said, it's that community aspect, the community aspect of being able to talk to everybody in real time, to theorize with everybody in real time, to like speculate in real time. Like, it's got its not drawbacks necessarily, but like it's got its cons, I guess, which are that you just have to wait so long.
I know I'm gonna be probably like 30 years old by the time this part wraps up, which is kind of insane to me when I think about it.
But I think the pros outweigh the cons. Like, yes, you have to wait, but like to be all in with the community, with everybody else at the same time, experiencing it all at the same time, like, I don't know. That's so incredibly
phenomenal. It's a moment.
Special, yeah.
It's a moment that'll never happen again. Being weekly readers or monthly readers in this case, and it's just like going to be a fun experience. I can't wait to talk with you guys, hear your thoughts about the first 8 chapters.
And we are going to be talking about every new chapter once a month as it comes out as well. The plan right now, we don't know exactly how we'll be doing it. We've toyed with the idea of doing it live or pre-recording it and editing it down into like a shorter video, but let us know how you would prefer to consume that kind of content. But we're really excited to be here and to talk about it monthly and to be a part of the community, to be caught up with everybody else. JoJo is a series that we both like have fallen head over heels for. And it's been a wild ride, but it's a ride that I'm so lucky. I feel so lucky to have like gone on so far and to be on. Like, there's nothing like JoJo. I mean, it is true. Like we said in the beginning of the video, it's so unique and at times like the concepts are so profound and the art is so incredible. Like, there's nothing like it. And I don't know, just very, very excited about what the future holds, what the unknown holds. But I think, that's going to do it, right? Yeah. Well, that is going to do it for our discussion, review, breakdown of the first 8 chapters of the Jojolands. Remember, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel because like we mentioned, we're going to be talking about every new chapter each month So subscribe to the channel so you can see when those videos drop. It also means the world to us. It helps us out so much. Leave your thoughts in the comments below as well on how you felt about this part specifically. What were some of your favorite moments? What were things that you liked, you didn't like, or your predictions that you might have? Any and all thoughts and feelings, please let us know in the comments below. We love being able to be caught up so that we can have those conversations with everybody. And remember, if you want to get early access to all of our videos and to help support the channel in a different way, then you can do that by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. To become a Patreon member, all you got to do is go to patreon.com/volume1pod. To become a YouTube member, all you got to do is click join somewhere next to the subscribe button on this video. Again, it just really does help us out so much. And it allows us and gives us the financial freedom to do all of the videos and take all the time to edit the videos and record the videos and everything. We just wouldn't be able to do it without our Patreon and YouTube member family. So if you're able and willing to help in that way, patreon.com/volume1pod, or click join somewhere next to the subscribe button to become a YouTube member. The only thing left to do now is to get out of here on our outro that is always the same and never changes, which today, Mehgan, is
part 9. Blaze it. Pass the lava rock to the left-hand side.
Pass the lava rock to the... It's
clunky. It's like clunky. The lava rock. Light it up.
You really? Because what if it's not weed?
I think it's weed.
The other bag, the detective, the DEA
It could be both.
Agent,
They're drug dealers. It could be anything.
Could be multiple drugs.
Yeah.
Could be multiple drugs.
Lava rock on, bro.
Let's just do pass the lava rock to the left. It's clunky, but we have nothing else.
Okay.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for any and all ways that you show your support. And until next time,
pass the lava rock to the left-hand side. Pass the lava rock to the left-hand side.
So bad.
You made me really want the lava rock.
Okay.
I really like the lava rock and the pot.
Okay. Well, you watched it, yeah, but you kind of had it.
I had it hot.